So, do you remember the ballpark and how many shows they used to have there?
Oh, the
I
ballpark.
don't remember any of that, so.
They built this gentleman came in from, I don't know where, but anyway, he built the ballpark. And
Stadium.
the stadium, the whole stadium and that, and they had volunteers and everything, and then it came in, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ballpark. And then after, that's when I had all the concerts, and wow, the people that used to come, they'd be lined up, the spur coming into Old Orchard, they'd be backed up to the pay gate, the toll gate, coming into Old Orchard just to get in to see our shows, and they would pack the place. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. They had many name, people today that are out there that used to be popular that aren't popular anymore. So, oh yes. And then they had a long time when the ballpark wasn't in use, and it got overgrown and the growth and everything. So they got this big group of volunteer people. They came in, they got rid of the weeds, the grass. They rebuilt the whole ballpark the way it is today.
Wow.
And we don't have a big name team, but we do have college teams. And I understand the Old Orchard Beach High School baseball team plays there now.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite show that you saw there?
I went and saw Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson.
He was very popular.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
At that time, he was very popular. And the place you had, he was way down in the middle of the field, and it was like, oh, can I see you?
Oh my gosh. So, do you remember how it was, like, when all the people would pour in, how the rest of the town was affected at that time?
Well, I think the business community would get money from the restaurants and the pier
Yeah.
and that. I think they depended on
Yeah.
a lot of that
That to come
income.
in.
People would come in and then they go downtown, correct?
Yeah, right, yep, come in, yep, or stay for a couple days, or,
Yeah. So Maine was always not Maine. So Old Orchard Beach was always a tourist town.
oh, absolutely.
I think the 7 miles of beach makes it very popular.
Yeah,
Of course.
and in fact, it was so popular that when President John F. Kennedy, their family lived here. They lived off of West Grand Avenue, and they would come and spend a few weeks in the summertime. The Kennedy
Wow.
family.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's incredible. Did you ever get to see them?
Oh no, I was
Oh.
young, younger.
Well, of course. So, what were the other big landmarks you remember that either were just brought down or just aren't in Oob anymore?
Well, I think the building of the pavilion was a big,
Yes, yes.
the Salvation Army Pavilion
Yeah.
that was built is a good thing for the town. And that happened after many years of the Salvation Army having camp meetings in the campgrounds. And they would come for services, and then it was fine if it was like today and the sun was out. But if it rained,
oh.
everybody would take a beeline for the tabernacle, and it only held half the number of people that the campground held.
Right,
So
yeah.
the Salvation Army built a pavilion. Have you been to the pavilion?
Oh, many, many times.
What do you think about it?
It's awesome. They have the best entertainment in the summertime, and the bands, and the
And if
4th
it
of
rains,
July.
you're
If it
still-
rains, you're
you can still
undercover.
go, yeah.
Yes, yep.
Yep.
It's really an asset to
Yeah.
the town, yep. Yeah.
So, what's the best? Have you seen any shows in the current pavilion?
Oh, yes, many.
Oh.
Right. We especially go to the 4th of July when
Concert.
Don Campbell comes to play in the concerts. Yes, yeah, they're awesome. Yep.
So, what were your experiences with the Velvet Hotel?
Oh, the Velvet, that was way before my time. But I heard about, it was right where the Grand Victoria is today. And I guess back in, I think it was 1907, don't quote me on that, it had a big fire and then it
That was
burned
right.
down.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it burned down, in fact, the whole block all burned down.
And I don't remember that at all, but I do remember the fire. I mean, I do remember hearing
Yeah,
about the fire.
Yep, and so anyway, yep, so it took out the whole hotel,
Did it take out part of East Grand
Yes, it
and
did.
West Grand as well? Yeah,
East Grand Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did have a lot of fires.
in Old Orchard.
Yeah.
Still.
It's called urban renewal.
So, just as an add-on, what was the most catastrophic event you experienced or you heard about?
Oh, the thing, most, let me see. That was when the pier burned.
Mhm.
When the pier burned, the Noah's Ark, the merry-go-round, the White Way, all those
Went down.
places, yeah. And people got caught at the end, they had to get them, rescue them from the boat.
And it included West End, East Grand
Yeah.
Avenue, but not just the pier.
Yeah, right, yeah, all
So
down.
total fire
Total, yeah.
devastated the town.
It was bad,
Yeah.
really.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did the pier look like when you were growing up?
Oh, the pier was awesome. The pier was long, it had a boarded walkway, a nice railing that you could walk on the pier and see all the beautiful ocean and everything. And as you were going out the pier, that was the right side of the pier. And on the left side of the pier, they had all these concessionaires and booths and games and little gift shops, jewelry shops. And then at the very end, there was this little takeout restaurant, the best cheeseburgers you could, the best cheeseburger.
Wasn't the pier twice as
Oh,
long
yes,
as it is
yeah,
now?
twice as
Yeah.
long as what it is now.
And then at the end, wasn't there a dance hall?
There was a big casino. First you went into an arcade, then you went into this great big dance hall where they had all the big bands and the big band era. Then at 9 o'clock, there was an entrance that you could go through the dance hall, out to a deck type thing, and they had movies, open air movies, and you would sit there, and I used to get my grandmother to take me out there, and you sit there on these wooden benches, and you watch the movies, and the mosquitoes, oh, the mosquitoes. And sometimes if the waves were a little high, they'd plop up through where the boards and the things, so you would sit there and plop, up would come a wave, and you'd sit there and.
So what was your favorite thing to do on the pier over everything else?
Oh, well, first it was the arcade and just being on there. My grandparents had a booth on the pier. They were concessionaires.
What did they sell?
They sold knickknacks and gifts and stuff like that. But I think when I got older and through high school and that, was dancing in the ballroom.
Oh, that sounds incredible.
It was.
So, what made you want to stay or come back to UB as an adult?
Well, I never left. I was born here, raised here, went through the public school system here, and after I retired from my job at Fairchild Semiconductor in South Portland, I worked at the town hall with the absentee ballot, and then I had to get done. Then I finished doing that, and I continued to live here and contribute to the town.
Why did you come back?
I came back because I had such a good time in Old Orchard when I was here with my husband, and I couldn't think of a better place to retire than Old Orchard.
Are there any stories about the history that you heard of UB that you would like to share?
Stories about Old Orchard. Oh my goodness, let me see. Everybody that ever came to Old Orchard wanted to settle here, and of course, like during the wintertime, this is something. During the wintertime, way back in the 40s, when we didn't have all these big snow plows like we have today, we had a man named Henry Stewart, and he had a team of horses, and he would hook up a plow, like a V plow, and he would plow all the sidewalks in Old Orchard. And when he got to be, like at my house, we could hear him coming because the horses had bells. And so we'd hear him coming, and we'd go out, and Henry would stop the horses, and we could all go out and pet the horses and talk to Henry, and, yeah, and where the Old Orchard Town Hall is now, underneath the town hall, that's where the barn was, where the horses were kept.
Oh my gosh.
Is that also where the fire
Yeah.
department was?
And the fire
Yeah.
department was down there, and, yeah, that was
Do you-
pretty neat.
Do you remember any of the horses' names or characteristics?
One of them, I think, was Pal. Now, funny. And I think there was a Major. His name was, they were big, big, big team horses. Of course, we were little, and the horses were up here.
So, what was your your favoriteest childhood memory from all over Oob, from all over wherever?
My favorite childhood memory, just being in Old Orchard and with my family, and be able to see the town grow from what it was to what it is today, and still be able to participate in a lot of the functions that Old Orchard Beach system puts out for us seniors, and just being alive and living here.
Is there any good childhood memories you have from where you were originally born?
Well, I can remember when I was 14, I was living in Canada, and I had applied for a scholarship to the Eastman School of Music in Rochester, New York. Never thought I would get it, and I got it, so that meant we had to move to Rochester, New York. And I went to the Eastman School of Music for 4 years, and that was the greatest event of my life, other than other things.
That's incredible.
Right, yeah.
So, what was your childhood like in Oob?
Oh, when I was born, Old Orchard was just a small town, and we still had the beautiful beach like when we were growing up, and went down the beach all the time, and went to all through the Old Orchard Beach school system, graduated, and of course went to work, and then raised my family. And what's really interesting, if you wouldn't remember, but we had this really nice merry-go-round that was on the Pier in Old Orchard, and my father ran that.
Really?
Yes, he did.
That's incredible. Was that
He worked there till I was about 6 years old, and so of course I got to ride for free, so, yeah.
Do you remember the donkey?
Oh, the donkeys, yes, they had the donkeys in the coal mine, was right by Noah's Ark, and each donkey had its own individual name.
Yes.
Was that one of your favorite childhood places?
No, Old Orchard itself is my childhood place, yeah.
What about you?
Well, I moved here in 1958 when I got married. My husband and I were the Salvation Army officers right around the corner from your father's church.
Oh, yes.
And we were there for 4 years. And when I decided to retire, I decided to move back to Old Orchard Beach. That was in 1997. And then I became the assistant town manager in Old Orchard. So I love it.
Do either of you have any siblings?
I have, my original family, there were 8 of us. And right now, the other ones have passed away, so that leaves 2.
I have none.
Oh, do any of your siblings live in or around Oob?
My brother Jimmy lives in Scarborough, Maine.
Nice. What year did you guys move or were born into Oob?
I was born in Old Orchard Beach, Maine, June 23rd, 1936.
I was born in Toronto, Canada in 1936.
When did you move into Maine?
I was here in 1958 with my husband, and then I moved out of Maine 4 years later and came back in 1997.
Nice.